Good day everyone, this is your friend Dr. Arle Imperio, and we are now live in our YouTube channel. And good evening to America, good morning and good afternoon anywhere in the world. We will be having a very important discussion today. And as usual, this is being brought to you by Forever Healthy Products, being led by Susan Barlin and Leon Katz. And these are the two pioneer leaders that will be bringing the blessings of IMUREGEN from the Philippines, from Europe, and to America and to the world. And as we usually say, we would like to be healthy now, and we would like to be healthy as long as possible. That's why it's forever healthy. Now, as usual, we always master the structure of our body. So look at the diagram. You can see yourself, and inside your body are 12 systems, and each system has organs, and each organs have tissue and cell. In medicine, that is histology, the study of tissue, and cell cytology. And then in the field of biochemistry, we now started to look inside the structures of the cell and take note of their biochemical reactions. That's biochemistry, coupled with physiology, which is the function of the body. And as usual, you will notice inside the cell is the nucleus. Inside the nucleus are the chromosomes. And you can also see a smaller nucleus. We call it nucleosome or nucleolus. We still probably have to study more on how vital that function is inside the cell. But what took our attention recently is the role of the chromosomes. Each cell has 46 chromosomes. 23 came from our mother, 23 from our father. They also have 46 chromosomes each. Now, during fertilization, they contributed 50% of their chromosome. That's why the total is still 46. But it's a mixture of the chromosomes of our parents. So we inherited everything through the chromosomes. But if you look at one chromosome, let's say as illustrated here, it has 4 legs. We call it the centromeres. And the common point, which is the middle, is the centromere. And inside the telomere of the chromosome are the strands of DNA. They are coupled together. They are wrapped around the histones, and based on certain conditions and factors, it will be, let's say, loosened up. And we pick out one strand, which would usually be as about 6 to 8 feet long, and it will contain about 50 million DNA. But our point here is inside the DNA are the nucleotides. The nucleotides are part of the structure of the DNA. So that's the basic knowledge that we would usually have to learn. And we now see the vital importance of nucleotide, DNA, chromosome, right? The cell, and then tissue, organ, and you. That's how it is connected. But our focus today will be on how IMUREGEN, which is nucleotide supplementation, can be a part of our life, right? So these are the ingredients of IMUREGEN. It has complex dietary nucleotides, peptides, oligopeptides, amino acids, and minerals. And overall, these are the different IMUREGEN that we have. And notice all of them has the logo IMUREGEN, which is the combination of 2 words, immunity and regeneration. And then we have the fulvic liquid, the fulvic mineral. So we feel this is one complete package on how we supply the nucleotide in our body. So let's say we focus on Immune Plus. The benefit of this is energy and immunity. That's why it is immune function plus energy. And the mechanism of function of energy is ATP production. It does not contain any stimulant, no stimulant. And however, there's energy. So how come you got lots of energy? It is ATP production. The ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, came from the nucleotides. So this formula is more of energy. They use it in sports, let's say in Europe, in cycling. So I suggest you try it at least for, let's say, 30 days. You just take one tablet, mix it to 250 ml alkaline water or up to 500 ml. You take it, in my experience, take it first thing in the morning and you will be surprised of the energy it gives you. If you feel you need more, take another one at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It has 4 flavors, that's why you can see, or 5 flavors, that's why you can see there are 5 of them. Each tube has 20 tablets. You can take 1, 2, or 3 tablets per day. And then we have the IMUREGEN liquid. The liquid is for better and faster absorption. You just take 1 teaspoon, 5 ml every day. And this has the same formula, only it has a higher dose. The Immune Plus a while ago has 0.18 milligram. This one will give you 1.5 milligrams of IMUREGEN. So far, this is the highest amount of IMUREGEN in a particular preparation. Then we have the IMUREGEN capsule. So it has 90 capsules. You just take 1 capsule 3 times a day before eating, about 15 to 30 minutes for eating. And this has 0.5 milligrams IMUREGEN. So others, they take the Immune Plus for energy, and then they take 1 teaspoon of liquid in addition, and during the meal times during the day, you take 1 capsule of IMUREGEN before eating. And then we have the IMUREGEN GLUCAN. It's still IMUREGEN, but we added GLUCAN, which is a very important immuno-modulator. The IMUREGEN supports the immune system. The GLUCAN also supports the immune system. So they will potentiate one another. So you take this especially if you feel you need more immune protection. For example, you're into sports, you stay overnight, you work at the wee hours of the morning, or you will be traveling, or anytime you feel weak or exhausted or tired, this can be probably one of the food supplements you must take. Because when you are weak, the danger is that your immunity may go down, and it may open the door to any disease, because your defenses are weak. So this is one food supplement you may probably take. So that's IMUREGEN GLUCAN. You just take 1 capsule 2 times a day. That's the normal dose. And this has 60 capsules, so that's 1 month's supply. For children at 5 years old above, they can take this formula. The other formulas, children, is from 1 year old above. You just look at the label, the dosage is there. Usually it's less than the adult dose, but it's permissible to give it in children. Then finally, we have the fulvic minerals. The fulvic minerals are trace minerals. There are about 70 trace minerals. These are so minute or small amounts of minerals, but they are vital in the electrical conduction of the cell. So remember, the cells are all connected. There are 70 to 100 trillion cells in the body, or even up to 200 trillion cells. And they communicate one another. The cells are talking to each other, and one way they talk to each other is through electrical impulses, right? So it's very complex. It's high tech, and we are the ones copying it through the use of our cell phones and through signaling. It's the same with our body. That's where the trace minerals come in, and of course, it supports the maintenance and repair of the cell membrane. Every particle of the body, especially the cell, it has a membrane. A membrane is like the checkpoint. It's like in a country, there is what you call the immigration, where it controls the inflow and outflow of people. So they check. That's the same with our cell membrane. It's a very vital function. And every organelle also have that particular importance. So for example, the nucleus, it also has a nuclear membrane. So items get inside the nucleus, and also items get out of the nucleus. Another important organelle in the cell is the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, where energy is created. It has also a mitochondrial membrane. So you can see the importance of the membrane. So we have in physiology like membrane potential. This is a way of measuring the effectiveness and efficiency of electrical impulses. So cells communicate with each other, and that's where the fulvic mineral comes in. After having said that, we now go to our major topic today. What would you like to experience? What experience would you prefer? Health, strength, vitality, longevity, or weakness, aging, or sickness? So of course we prefer to be more healthy. But for our review, the best that we can get from the medical side is when we are weak, aging, or sick. Of course, we get proper treatment. We go to our doctor, and then medicine or drugs may be recommended, and surgery may be considered. And then when things all fail, the last resort that we can rely upon is the ICU or intensive care unit. However, in the other side of our experience is prevention, and that's where we will be focusing today. Together, we do that whenever we are weak or sick. But the idea is to have an advanced checkup. Annual medical checkup is our usual recommendation. Complete, because every organ is very important. One organ fails, everything will fail. And then coupled with a healthy lifestyle. And that will be where we'll be talking more today. And the proper use of functional food as part of our nutritional support. So this goes together. If you have any medical condition, always go to your doctor and follow your doctor. And then you add these other elements that will support the homeostatic function of the body. That will support the ability of the body to build, maintain, repair itself. And I have realized that we should never underestimate the power of the body to heal itself. That's where we recommend prayer, or we recommend trusting in God. We recommend family support, because they would enhance the powers of the body to build, maintain, and repair itself. Okay, so the lifestyle is contained in this sentence or this affirmation. Daily, I am a new star. And so we'll be studying each one individually. So letter A in A or A is attunement to God. So how do you do it? One simple technique is always to be happy by counting your blessings, because the more blessings you realize, you would be happier, right? And do this first thing in the morning. When you wake up, realize you're alive, because others didn't wake up with life. Others would. I remember one time somebody told me, Doc, I woke up because the alarm clock sounded and I woke up. But put the alarm clock beside the cadaver, even though it rings, the cadaver wouldn't move. So actually, what woke you up is not the alarm clock. It's because God is still, His life is still in you. That's why you woke up. That's why this is one thing we should be very happy whenever we wake up in the morning. So count your blessing, and the first blessing is life and vitality. And you also do it before you fall asleep. When you're about to fall asleep, be aware that your life is now in God's hands. And then also, as often during the day, try to remind yourself of the blessings that you now have. And then always declare, thank you, God, for the life that you had given me. And let me be a channel of your goodness to everyone I meet today. So that's the vibration. That is the attunement. Attune to God, and then radiate that attunement to everybody you meet every day. And this will promote better health. The next is letter N for nutrition. Here's how to do it. The first focus is to have a well-balanced meal. And ideally, you should be a vegetarian. However, if you're not a vegetarian, at least be sure you have more fruits and more vegetables. And you take them as fresh as possible. And a balanced diet has these keywords. The GO foods, this is the energy foods, like carbohydrates and fats. And the GROW foods, these are the protein foods, like the legumes, the grains, right? Eggs can be a part of them. GLOW foods, these are the vitamins and minerals. And this is where you get it from fruits and vegetables. Then when you have lots of fruits and vegetables, you have fiber. You must have fiber. It's part of a balanced diet. And then eventually water, right? So these are the elements of a balanced diet. There is energy foods, there is bodybuilding foods, there is GLOW foods, then there is fiber and water. Next is exercise. So here's how to do it. The best exercise is aerobics exercise, and the best type of aerobic exercise is brisk walking. So never lose this function. Use it or you will lose it. So while you can walk, keep on walking. Ideally, we walk about 10,000 steps a day. So if you have a pedometer to measure that number, you're doing it right. But just keep on walking, and here's how to do it. You start slowly for about 5 minutes, for the first 15 minutes. After that, you walk as fast as you can, and then slow down. Don't stop immediately. And then keep on doing this until you can comfortably do it for 30 minutes, then eventually up to 60 minutes every day. Every day. But if you cannot do it every day, at least 3 times a week. But if you have any medical condition, or you are 40 years old above, healthy, 40 years old above, or any age level, but you have a medical condition, always consult your doctor for your exercise prescription, because the actual intensity and frequency of your exercise may vary depending on your condition. And then water, our body is 60-70% water. It's very important. Here's how to do it. You drink clean mineral spring water, because spring water is usually mineral in nature. You avoid distilled water, because distilled water does not contain minerals, and you need minerals, right? Distilled water is just, of course, clean. Of course, you have mineral water that is clean. So clean, mineral, ideally spring water. And then the next is the juices that Mother Nature has done for us. So these are the fruit juices. My favorite is coconut juice. So you can take pineapple juice, apple juice, or any juice that you may like. And then whenever you feel thirsty, be sure you drink immediately, because ideally you should not wait for the feeling of thirst, because when you feel already thirsty, that means the body needs lots of water. However, even how efficient the body is able to contain water, because that's how important it is. My suggestion is you drink before you get thirsty, so you drink 1 glass of water, let's say every hour. And at night before you sleep, you drink water, but you drink 1 or 2 hours before you sleep, so that before you sleep you would urinate, or else you might wake up in the wee hours of the morning just to urinate because you drank water. So you drink 1 glass of water before an hour before you sleep, and immediately when you wake up in the morning, drink 1 glass of water. So ideally before you sleep, you have 1 pitcher or 1 glass of water ready, and probably I may add you have your Immune Plus beside you, or IMUREGEN, which you can take immediately when you wake up in the morning. The next would be sunbathing. One of my favorite techniques. Is hard to do it. You do sunbathing from sunrise to 9 a.m. because 9 a.m. up to 4 p.m. the energy coming from the sun is quite strong. In fact, it's dangerous. It can even affect and damage your DNA. But from sunrise to 9 a.m. it's safe. And the next level would be 4 p.m. up to 6 p.m. So about 15 minutes to 30 minutes sunbathing. And expose your solar plexus, that is the area at the pit of your stomach. And then your cardiac plexus, which is the area between your, let's say, shoulders at the back. So you just expose yourself to the sun for about 15 to 30 minutes in the time I mentioned. And then during sunrise, if you can catch it, when the sun is rising in the horizon for about 5 minutes, you can directly look at it. It's so soothing and very comforting to your eyes, because it's just rising. And that sunbeam will enter your eyeballs, it will hit the retina, and then hit the optic nerve, and then it will transcend between the optic chiasma, and then stimulate the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. And the pituitary gland is the master gland of your body. So that will already energize everything from head to toe for about, let's say, 5 minutes. And the next opportunity would be at sunset. That's about 10 minutes to sunset, right? I remember here in the Philippines, we usually go to Luneta, right? And then look at the sunset. It has one of the best sunsets in the world. So you can directly look at the sun during those moments. And then the next is in the formula daily, I am a new star. Letter T is temper control. What I'm trying to say is, there are moments where we really get angry. There are moments where we are trembling with anger because things didn't went out well. This is a very dangerous experience, because the fight and flight response of the body will be triggered. This is a self-defense mechanism of the body. When there is a threat, it's either you will fight for your life or run away. So fight or flight response. That is a normal physiological response. Just reserve that for real life danger, and automatically your body will save you from whatever threat that suddenly came. But what we would like to avoid here is that you're having it every day, because every day you're getting angry most of the time. Now, I understand that sometimes we have to be a tough, you call it love tough or tough love to get things done. But my point is, just bluff it off. You appear angry, but inside really you're laughing, you're joyful. But at times when it comes, so here's how to do it. Avoid being angry by planning in advance what to do when it comes. If that comes, immediately stop. Don't argue, immediately stop. Change location. Go to the washroom, wash your face, look yourself at the mirror, and you will see how stressful you would look. Drink 1 glass of water slowly for about 1 minute. And then if you are a Christian, repeat my favorite verse, which is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. You can select any scripture. If you're a Hindu, then you get one from the Bhagavad Gita. If you're a Buddhist, then one of the favorite statements of Buddha. If you are a Muslim, from the Quran. It's up to you, because what's important is whatever is your spiritual affiliation, you are closely connected to it, because that is your understanding of what is best spiritually, which is part of your health. And then, so the principle is to lessen the trigger of the fight and flight response. And then, of course, we usually have the song, don't worry, be happy, have fun, because life is short. There's no time to get angry. Just enjoy as life comes on. Anyway, it will just pass. Remember, things will just pass away. Okay, and then A is air. Here's how to do it. We breathe in air, right? The first thing when the doctor would look at when you and I are born is whether you would breathe in, right? The baby inside the mother's womb for 9 months, let's say, even when the heart is beating, and the baby is delivered, until the baby takes the first breath, it's considered blue baby. It will die. And so we count that for about 1 minute. So if after 1 minute the baby doesn't breathe in, wow, there's danger. And there's a problem, and the life of the baby may be at stake. But when we stimulate the nostrils of the baby, take away the mucus that might be obstructing the respiratory organs, or the nose, for example, then the baby will start breathing it and cry loudly, and we're happy. The breath of life just came in. And I also witnessed when a person would die, he started to breathe in slowly and then just simply stop. That means the breath of life simply moved out from the body. So that's how important breathing is, because there is life-giving forces or energy from the air. So here is one technique, the principle of air. You breathe in slowly, inhale slowly as you can, but comfortably. So inhale slowly, exhale slowly until you get the rhythm. And then take note, you touch your abdomen. As you inhale, the abdomen should expand. As you exhale, the abdomen should contract. It's the reverse as we usually do it, but that's the technique. And then when you're able to get the rhythm, be aware of the breathing process. And then hold your breath at the end of inhalation as long as you can. Then hold your breath after exhalation. And you will notice it will give you lots of energy. So 5 minutes of that will help. And one technique which I may share is, you have your favorite scripture verse, right? As you inhale, because you're now inhaling slowly, mentally repeat the verse. Let's say, as I inhale, I would say, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And then as I exhale, for whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. You get it? So that's one technique. You combine affirmation with inhalation and exhalation. And then lastly, my dear friends, it's letter R, but there are several components. It's rest, recreation, restoration, rejuvenation. What the idea here is recreation. We recreate, and when we recreate, we restore and rejuvenate. And the basic principle is to rest. So rest in your thoughts, rest in your feelings, rest in your activity. So the principle is to recreate. And I would like at this point to emphasize the meaning of recreation, because it has been already misunderstood when we say, oh, come on, let's have some recreation. It actually means we'll be staying late at night, we'll be drinking alcohol, we'll eat a lot, right? We call this recreation, but actually it's not. Recreation is really rest. That's why we have to take note of the principle of rest, and usually when we sleep, we are able to rest properly. So one way to measure if you were able to rest properly, after sleeping, when you wake up, you must feel rejuvenated. If you don't feel rejuvenated, then probably that means you have to sleep more, right? That's why the principle is to recreate. Recreation comes from this concept. So rest before you get tired. Don't wait until you're weak, exhausted, and fatigued. And God himself has set the example. He created the world in 6 days, and the 7th day he rested. So we can now see here the principle of rest, so 1 day in 7. And so there should be 1 day at least in a week where you should be doing things differently. Let's say you should have your family day, you should have your relaxation day. If your favorite activity is shopping, so you have 1 day, you do all the shopping that you like to really enjoy. If your happiness is sports or go to nature, you change your pace. That's the idea. You have, let's say, 6 days of work, but on 1 day, or usually the 7th day, it should be a day of rest and celebration, and to remind yourself that you're connected to your Creator who did everything in the first place. So that is rest, recreation, restoration, and rejuvenation. Therefore, my dear friends, we'll now summarize our formula. So we mentioned you should have an advanced medical checkup, right? And then remember to have a healthy lifestyle, which is daily I am a new star. And then part of our nutrition and functional food is the proper use of functional foods, and one good functional food we recommend is nucleotide supplementation. Why? Because the nucleotide itself is part of the structure of the DNA and RNA, and therefore it will contribute a lot in its stability and function. And remember that your health is your first wealth, and it's the investment that was given by God to you. How you take good care of your health is how you say thank you to God. And therefore also realize that health is priceless. It doesn't have really monetary value. You may have all the money in the world, the moment health is lost, your money is nothing. That's why we always declare that prevention is always, 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 always better than getting the best cure. This is your friend, Dr. Arle Macasiano Imperio, always reminding everyone to focus on health, wellness, and prevention. And we would always like to give recognition to our leaders in Forever Healthy Products, Leon Katz, our president, and Susan Barlin, our chief executive officer. And it's always a joy to be a part of sharing these blessings from Europe, Philippines, America, and to the world. And from the Philippines, we declare, Mabuhay!